that just simply existing, you are enough. Like, you don't have to go jump through no hoops, no nothing to earn somebody's love. I make a space for you to exist however you want to exist. Mm-hmm. And that part is important. And that is what feeds into safety in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Somebody had a question. What were you looking for in the beginning?
Girl, I was not looking for nothing. This girl just showed up. I was not looking for not a soul, okay? She just rolled up. She just rolled up to my YouTube event, and we took a picture together, and she's like, I'm not done. And she grabbed me again. I was like, okay.
To this day, I don't know why I did that. Like, I was like, where did this courage come from? Like,
in the beginning when we met, girl, I was not looking for anything.
Yeah. We were in South Korea. I had just got there. I was 3 months into being in South Korea, and she had already been there for 5 years and was on her way out. Mm-hmm. I think you had what, like 6 months left? Three months?
Maybe October, November, December, January, February. 4 months. We met 4 months before I left Korea.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And neither one of us were looking for anything. It was kind of a surprise. I was not looking at her. I was actually.
I think that's why this kind of worked out, because we were both in a space of just like, we're not looking, we are just living and enjoying our own selves. Like, they always say that love comes find you when you're not looking, and this is like the biggest example of that, okay? Because I think like that summer, because we had met in that October, that summer I was just like, I am done. I am free. I'm doing whatever I want to do. I'm not dating anybody in South Korea, because that dating hole was a hot mess. And so I'm just,
and I got dating 4 months left. Dudes, right?
Oh my God. That was ridiculous.
It was that bad.
It was, girl, it was.
Yeah, I think you had this long list. You had this list of things that you wanted out of a partner, but it's not like you were actively looking for a partner. Actually, when we first started texting, I asked for you to show me around, like in South Korea or whatever. And we were forming a mutual friend group too. So it was easy to just like kind of let it, like, yeah.
She had ulterior motives for her contacting me. I had no idea. I was basically a South Korea foreign native, and I was like, yeah, sure, I would love to show you around to my favorite spots in Hongdae. But
I just knew, I was like, I need to get close to this girl. Let me see what she's about. I just knew that I liked the energy. I liked what it felt like to be around you. That's all I knew. That was the only ulterior motive that I had.
Oh, somebody said, I lost my mind when you first posted about this relationship. I was so excited for how happy you look. Yeah, girl, it was a surprise because I was not looking. And as Lauren said, I was dating guys. Like, I was like complete left field. Like,
they were black guys. Yeah, somebody asked me were they Korean. Did you ever date a Korean dude?
My type is being able to communicate, and and I was already having a lot of like communication issues in my regular, day-to-day Korean life. Like, I didn't want to have that in my actual relationship as well. And if you know anything about me, I'm what they call a sapiosexual, and I've talked, like, if we can talk and not that surface level, like, I talk deep, okay? Like how we're talking here, like this, I could feel, I was telling you this earlier, I was like, I could feel my neurons like connecting. I could feel my dendrites like expanding. Like, that's what I need. Those are the kind of conversations I need, because if we could communicate, all right, that
intellectual connection.
That is for me. That's the sapio, that's the knowledge, yes. So I need that. And unfortunately in Korea, it was, not saying that there was nobody that spoke English, but that was one big thing. Yeah.
What was the biggest thing you learned during our time apart and during our extended time apart? I'm not gonna call it no breakup no more. But I'll say breakup just to bring everyone into what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. What was the biggest thing you learned?
Like I was talking earlier about like having that baseline, like what it feels like to be at a baseline, meaning like me be at calm, at peace, you know, and being able to sit in that and be firm in wanting that, so that when we are back into the in a space where we're together, I can stand up for myself, and I know, like, yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
that
not,
was a big
that's not,
issue, is that you didn't find your voice in the beginning of speaking up on what you felt.
yeah.
And I would encourage them, like, what do you feel? Like, you know, what is it? And it's just the tool of being able to form your feelings into words, into a sentence, so that you can communicate, because it was just you for a while. You
Yeah,
were sitting with your own emotions, and you didn't have to communicate that to nobody. You just go
yeah.
sit in your room and be there for a few days.
And meditate, and yeah, I say that I felt like there was a lot of healing that happened for me. Like, me being in South Korea for 5 years was the best thing that I feel like that happened to me. Like, the amount of growth and understanding of myself and the world around me, just the expansion was, it just set me on a completely different trajectory of life. But I also say that there is healing that I couldn't have done on my own. There's a level of healing that I needed to be in a relationship for. And so I was single for this is my first real serious long, what is it, like, long, we're in almost 4 years now,
Committed
this
relationship. Yeah.
committed relationship. And so there was a lot of learning of what I like. I thought I was healed, or I thought that I was okay, but no, there were definitely holes that were poked in that were reflected back at me. And without being in a relationship or having that mirror, that person in your life that could mirror those things to you, you don't see where what needs to be healed.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think that was the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me that I learned through our time apart, I think one that stands out for me right now is, oh, why did it just leave my brain? Hold on. One thing that, man, literally, I'm just like running a blank. I guess okay, so it's to speak your mind, as for example, in our relationship, I used to cater what I had to say to Natalie in this like cookie cutter, you know, rainbows and, you know, because I knew I wasn't hurting feelings. I'm never gripe or just attack and be disrespectful.
There's no
Right,
disrespect.
there's no disrespect. But if I have raw feelings that I need to get out, it does me more harm to not speak those. So I think that throughout this whole time apart and back together and not together, I realized that there's no getting around your emotions and how you're feeling, and to create this safe enough space within your relationship to allow your partner to get all of that out. I think there was one time in particular that I was as raw as possible. I said exactly how I felt. There was no catering to how Natalie was feeling. And I had, at this point, I had a wall up. My ego was definitely in the room, and I had these irrational thoughts, like, and Natalie was penetrating and just allowing me to open up. She was asking me questions, and I still had my walls up. And at the moment that all of my emotions kind of just burst, she just allowed me to say everything I needed to feel. Feel everything I needed to say, like, just communicate everything. And as hard as it was for her to listen to it, I noticed that I probably need to do that more often. I need to I'm doing myself a disservice by not speaking my feelings about how I feel just for someone else, just to make someone else feel, just stay true to me and speak how I feel. I felt better after that. I saw our relationship take a big turn, you know, after that conversation. It was not a comfortable conversation, but I saw and felt that it was needed. So just being able to take the gloves off in a way and just be as raw as possible. because when you're not, you can feel that you left some stuff on the table that you didn't get to talk about.
And you'll allow those feelings and those thoughts to ruminate within your mind, to expand, to grow, to magnify. And now you have this kind of like underlying resentment towards your partner because of these ideas and beliefs and feelings, and not being able to speak your mind freely. And I feel like in a way that you can feel that, even whether or not like you're actually communicating like, oh yeah, I feel this way. Like that is the bottling up that happens. And as long as you bottle that up and you're not expressing yourself the way that you need to express yourself, and again, I want to stamp in like respectfully. We're not calling each other names. We're not cursing each other out. We're not even cursing at each other. We may speak very passionately, but there's always a level of respect, but being able to express that as freely as you can.
Yeah, someone said there's nothing wrong with speaking your mind. That's where compromise, listening, understanding, and just talking it out. That's what's wrong with us. At times we jump and don't listen to just my opinion. Oh my God, I gotta talk about this, because me and you talk about this all the time, using this tool of communication. When you're communicating with someone, Natalie thinks that more talking is going to help understanding. And so let me back up a little bit. Communication is, there's a sender with a message and there's a receiver. And in between that communication, it is important to say, hey, what did you hear me say? Because I can say something to Natalie, and by her response, I can tell that she didn't understand what it is that I said. So there's a key component that we figured out within our communication that we must add, and that is asking each other, what did you hear me say? What's your understanding of this? Because more talking, you telling me more of your point, does not help understanding for both ends. Like, it's going to help me, what's that word, where when you're trying to communicate your point and you realize somebody didn't get you, and you realize they're going off on a tangent or something you didn't even say, and this is not the route you thought it should go on, you can really build your defenses, and you can go on this tangent of something that doesn't help you get to the solution. And so by asking each other, like, hey, what'd you hear me say? So that you can fix that. You can fix, like, oh, you heard this? That makes sense. Let me clear that up for you. And so that's an ongoing tool that we must use. And I hope that more people use in their communication, because like, there are big feelings flying all over the place, and that's fine. But stay connected to, like, what are we understanding from each other? What's the solution? Where are we trying to go? Go ahead, baby. You look like you're trying to say something.
Oh, no. Because I was just going to piggyback off of what you're said, because, yeah, we get so stuck in, like, I'm hearing what you're saying, but I got something to say on top of that.
Hearing to respond.
Like, I'm ready to respond to what you're saying because of what I'm understanding. But what I'm understanding doesn't mean that it's what you're saying. Yeah. Even though that's what I hear.
Yes. And that's a lesson we have to learn over and over and over again. Like, that is key. Mm-hmm. There is something that we been working on for a while now. Since that breakup video, a lot of people have been pouring in and just saying, like, man, I'm going through this. I'm going through something similar. How do you guys navigate this? How do you do this? Which is what helped us come to the conclusion of, like, we need to start a series. We need to talk more about all the things that we're learning throughout our relationship. So we not only are doing these lives, we're going to try to do them on a weekly basis. We actually are offering, like, a time to chat with us.
Like, we're coaching you along with whatever you're going through, providing you tools, and in a one-on-one kind of supportive way. Yeah. Being able to help highlight things from an objective lens, to help guide you through whatever that you're going through, whether it's in your relationship, or let's say you're going through a breakup and you don't know how to navigate that as well. Yeah. So
learning to love yourself again. You're learning to all the nuances of in and out a relationship with your partner or a relationship with yourself.
If you're interested in one-on-one relationship coaching, support, From us, we have our link in the bio to sign up for our one-on-one calls. And yeah, we're open for the next 45 days, so you could schedule up to 45 days out. Um, and yeah, we're really excited to be having this offering for you, to help you through whatever that you're going through, whether again in your relationships, individually, and you just need some insight and help through guiding your own self healing in order for you to have a stronger and more a healthier relationship, not just romantic relationship. We're talking about all relationships in your
Yeah,
lives.
yeah. I think some other things that I was navigating outside of this relationship was like I'm back at home with my parents, and I learned how to rebuild a relationship with each of my parents in my own way, like rebuilding relationships with my siblings. So it's not just a romantic relationship, but just like relationship with parents, being a caretaker, like all of those things.
Yeah.